Welcome back. We're moving on to chapter 8. And so in chapter 8, we're going to discuss social media for business communications, some more on that and how that works. So last time we talked about the types of phone or communications, phone, text, email, and now we're going to talk about social media. And this is chapter 8. So let me share my monitor. I hope you're getting a lot. I hope you've gotten some examples from or saw some things last week that you were doing at work and you want to change the way you're designing your emails and things of that nature. I'd love to hear from you as we go through these. If you go through the emails, please email me to let me know how things went, what happened, what did you notice, and what are you changing about yourself. If you want to, or in the discussion post, you can do that as well. But I'd love to hear from you, okay? So let's share my monitor. All right, so we're on chapter 8. And in chapter 8, business communication, social media for business communication. So now we're going to explain the characteristics of the emerging social age. And we're going to use blogs, forums, and other social tools for effective communication within organizations. We're going to create blogs and other social posts for effective external communications. And we're going to build a credible online reputation or talk about that, and then describe the ethical use of social media for work. So this is the evolving workplace. On your monitor, we have that up. And based on this, we talk about the industrial age, which was before this time. In the industrial age, we had command communication, little communication between the teams and units. And now during the information age, we have, a difference in the social age, which we're in now. We have respect for expertise in communications to the network, sharing knowledge is power, transparency, honesty, and camaraderie for key values. Holding, as you can see in industrial age, holding authority is power, holding knowledge is power, and now sharing knowledge is power. Isn't that something? So the information age, the industrial age goes from the 1700s to 1985. The information age started in the 1970s and it's expected to grow through 2025. And the social age is started in 2005 and it's expected to go on continuously. So that's information for knowledge, all right? So characteristics of the social age. So let's talk about that. Characteristics for the social age include evolution of the internet. So we had Web 1.0, where most web pages were read-only and static. And that was user 1.0. And then we had Web 2.0, where we read, write web, where users author content, express opinions, and customize and edit web content. And then we have social media or user 2.0. And in that, we can see that in user 1.0, it was passively reads and searches for content. It depends on content creator, does not express own opinion, gets the web as it is. Email is the main communication tool. The computer is the main access point and connected online for time limited sessions. Whereas 2.0, we have more of the actively creates and shares content information. A user does, can express opinions and even change the content presented, customizes web pages and content. Peer-to-peer programs are the main communication tools. They connect from various devices and connect online all times. Okay, benefits and challenges of social media in the workplace. So the benefits includes to the companies, team communication and collaboration, succession planning, recruitment and onboarding, idea sharing, knowledge management, skills development and training, because we can do that as we're doing here. We have interfacing with customers, suppliers, and partners. And then we have a decreased time to market for new products and services, more incentive or innovative, creative, effective, and profitable approaches to work problems, less time and fewer resources needed for business travel. And in addition to that, to business professionals, we get build professional networks internally and externally, access business expertise and knowledge more rapidly, and enhance camaraderie with peers. And I do a lot, and I recommend that if you haven't already, go ahead and set up your LinkedIn account and make sure that you link in with the students in your class, if you can, and me, or the students that you want to link in with within your classroom. And that's a great way to build networks, especially in the master's level program. You want to make sure that you're communicating with many of these people who already, your classmates who already have great jobs, and they're just planning for their next future step or move. There are challenges and risks with everything, naturally. And so is such with the social media. To companies, there's lack of adoption and penetration, lack of permanence, confusion over which communication channels to use, distractions from work, too much socializing. There could be a lack of information provided externally and internally, as well as internally. And then there are lack of systems for rewarding networked or team communication and collaboration. To business professionals like yourself, there's lack of boundaries between professional and private lives. There's lower productivity due to multitasking sometimes, excessive optimism and self-promotion, mistakes and incompetence broadcast to a larger audience. So using social media tools for communication within organizations, we see there are some effective social tools we can use. Organize your dashboard to control your command communication and information flow, as well as create complete and professional profiles, use blogs, status and updates for team communication, as well as use shared files to collaborate, solve problems with discussion forums. And here's information on blogs versus microblogs, blogs posts that are arranged chronologically similar to a journal format, and help leaders, managers, and supervisors to keep employees aware of announcements and updates. For microblog status updates, short comments that typically contain just a few sentences, and then tools for broadcasting quick announcements and urgent information. Team blogs typically are organized around formal work teams, and project blogs are typically organized around particular projects that generally involve temporary team members. So blogs used for internal announcements, we see an example of that blog there. And then status updates for team coordination. We see things embedded within the blog and information. So you can see that communication flow and as it's going in the monitor, the figure 8.4, and how that works. There are some helpful tips to use files to collaborate, for shared files to collaborate. And they are discussed with your team members and colleagues what the protocol should be for sharing and co-editing files. Organize your files by project, manage permissions, and add comments constructively, and carefully read your colleagues' comments. Solve problems with discussion forums. And that means here you want to actions to avoid: leading posts, ignoring competing points of view, strong, rigid language, complaining, blaming, off-topic points, excessively short or lengthy posts, and sarcasms. To solve problems with discussion forums, some strategies you may want to consider include: read your peers' comments completely and carefully, guys. State the purpose of the forum clearly. Use flexible, open, and inviting language. Build on the ideas of others and pose questions. Show appreciation for your teammates and their ideas. Participate often. Meet in real time with touchy points. Summarize as appropriate and identify next steps. Talk with your team about ways to make forums help your discussion making coordination. This is a great slide. And this is one that I often point out in the class, a lot of the information here on how to make a great discussion post. Effective examples of a forum conversation is here. I want you to really pay close attention to it and how it's laid out. This would be some great tools for you, like I said, in the discussion post or at work when you're having discussions as well. Writing blogs for external audience. Write posts for your organizations, and that can be done. And the primary goal is effective public relations when you're doing this. Remember that PR is fundamentally about building relationships with employees, customers, communities, the media, and other stakeholders. A primary goal of building these relationships is to improve the corporate reputation or credibility. I write blog posts myself, and I do newsletters on LinkedIn, and I'm doing a series now that I've chosen based on this is kind of heart, and it's something I've been working on, or reason why I went to get my PhD in the first place. Sometimes we skirt over while we're in school and we forget, and we have to come back to those things, and that's where I am. So press release style blog posts, the components that's needed in that is you need your headline, your dateline, your PR story, your boilerplate, contact information, and your call to actions. Their ideas, idea development for a public relations message is you want to always clarify your company's brand and gain a shared sense of the brand message. Write the PR story. Use a headline, dateline, story, boilerplate, or positioning statement. Or you can use an opt-in style communication. Professional blogs establish thought leadership with a blog post that focuses on expertise or interest. Create own blog or use LinkedIn. And again, I use LinkedIn. Develop a theme and maintain a professional, fun, and helpful tone. And make sure your content is accurate, rather. So some guidelines for using social media in the workplace. Here are some principles for professional social media use, and they include being an active contributor. Read, listen, and learn. Focus on content. Make your content accessible. Make your messages authentic and friendly. Respect the boundaries and participate in communities. Read, listen, and learn. Read, listen, and learn, guys. These are some strategies. Identify the 20 to 50 sources of information that are most helpful to you. Use hashtags or other topical searches to track important information to you. And take time to read important articles and posts. Recognize and praise the contributors of others, the contributions of others. This is important. I post stuff all the time. People say like, but it's great to add comments. These people are putting in a lot of time and energy. I think my post on yesterday took days to develop. In addition to that, I still spent time yesterday rewriting, investigating, spell checking, all of that before I was able to post the post. So it took most of my day to get that done. Managing your online reputation is developing a personal brand, a unique set of professional skills and attributes others associate with you, and use social media tools. So developing a credible online reputation includes personal or private, for family and for friends. Example, a family blog. You want that professional or private for work colleagues. Examples is a corporate blog. So personal and I don't do personal a lot. I'm just very, I'll share some things about me, but I really focus on professionalism and everything. That way I don't have to worry. When you're developing a credible online reputation, for example, social networking websites such as Facebook, I have certain abilities, confidence. I have positive media, messages show these things. So you want to take a look at these particular slides, especially this one, and see where you fit into the play and play, and really evaluate what you're trying to do and develop your brand in this way. Use social media ethically. Both your online reputation and your reputation and performance of your company are at stake. Your private actions can damage your employer and hurt your career. And that is very true. And that's it for chapter 8. It wasn't a long chapter, but a very important chapter. And so I want you to make sure you're taking into consideration that chapter 8, very important chapter, especially as you build your personal brand, if you haven't already done so, on LinkedIn, Facebook, and some of the other sites. Remember, LinkedIn is for professional use, and you want to develop any professional things there. It's not about your marriage. It's not about personal things. That goes on Facebook or Instagram. LinkedIn and Twitter are more for professional use. And if you manage it that way, I think you'll be in great shape. So I look forward to seeing you on those sites, as well as I look forward to seeing you in coffee and conversations.